Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Vairavan. I'm a product manager at Palo Alto Networks. We secure your digital way of life. Today, we're going to talk about Office 365. We're going to look at, is your Office 365 protected? And then a few tips on how you can actually secure your Office 365 with some very, very simple remedies. So when you look at Office 365, where does your data actually reside in Office 365? So there are several apps, so OneDrive, SharePoint, Exchange, Yammer, add Microsoft Teams to that, recent acquisition of Microsoft for GitHub. So all your data resides in these various applications in Office 365. Now, this data is your intellectual property. You, of course, are going to have sensitive data in Office 365. You bought Office 365, you've deployed it, your most sensitive information is going to be in Office 365. You also use Office 365 to collaborate. So you're going to have your employees, your partners, and even the general public access data within Office 365. They're going to collaborate. So what you need to make sure is that every single person has access only to the right amount of data. Now, this is a very simple problem to state, but very, very hard to implement and continuously monitor and make sure that your data is not out there in the internet. If you look at Office 365 or any SaaS application for that, you have a shared responsibility model. What is this model? So Microsoft makes sure that the lights are up. They're 24/7 up and running. The bad guys don't get in. They don't get DOS. All this is the job of Microsoft. But you, as an enterprise or as an enterprise administrator, it is your job to make sure what data resides inside Office 365 and who has access to this data. This is your responsibility, and this is not something you can do once or twice. You need to do this every single day, and this needs to be automated as well as monitored to make sure that the right access to the data is available inside Office 365. While you're doing this, you still need to make sure that Office is very usable, it's easy to use, and you don't inhibit any user workflows. You do not want security to be an inhibitor for the application. So you need to secure the application, but you need to do it in a way that it does not inhibit the end user's workflow. Now, let's look at the various risks which are associated with your SaaS applications or risks associated when you use Office 365. The first thing is that you want to make sure that your people in your company actually use Office 365 and do not use other applications which you have not secured or bought. You also want to identify all the data which is sitting inside Office 365 and the exposure of that data. So you want to make sure that your data is not publicly accessible, that people outside the world cannot access it, especially the sensitive data. You also want to make sure that it's not easy to propagate malware, and malware is not sitting inside your Office 365 applications. And last of all, there are lots of knobs and security settings inside Office 365. You want to make sure that people are using Office 365 appropriately. Your end administrators have a lot of power. With great power comes great responsibility, and you want to make sure that even though they are a super user, they're actually using it responsibly. So through the rest of this presentation, we're going to deep dive into each of these 4 areas to identify what problems exist today and what problems you need to solve, and some tips on how you can solve it. So let's look at uncontrolled SaaS usage. So think of it that you have built the best possible security for Office 365. You have, for example, the best possible airport scanner. But if your people are not going through the airport scanner and going directly to the airplane, whatever security you have is useless. So you want to make sure that people are using Office 365. They don't use other applications, or they safely use other applications. There are tons and tons of SaaS applications that people can use. Now, all these SaaS applications don't have the same level of protection that is available in Office 365. So you don't want people to use applications which have, for example, data breaches, which have data breaches in the last 3 years. You don't want people to use applications which have poor terms of services. In this particular example, among the apps listed there, there's a specific application there where if you upload any content to that application for sharing, so if you upload a Word file, or if you upload a PowerPoint file, which has the intellectual property of your company, the terms of service of that particular application says they own all the intellectual property to any data uploaded into that application. Your end users are not going to go read these terms and services. They're going to look for convenience, but that convenience could be a huge problem for your company. You also want to make sure that other applications that people use, they are certified. And the basic idea of certification is to make sure they have basic security sanity checks. Is there physical security for that particular application? So you do not want users to use applications which are not secure. Nor do you want users to use applications that may not be financially viable, or applications that are not going to be there in the next 24 months. So what you need is a good visibility across all applications that your users are using, whether on the corporate laptop at home or within your corporate premises. And to get this might seem like a daunting task, but it's actually very, very simple to get this information, and you can use a lot of the existing tools that you have today. Most of you should have a proxy device or a firewall device at the perimeter of your enterprise. And you can get good visibility across all applications that people are using and which users are using these applications. The picture you see here is a single page of a report that you can generate from a Palo Alto Networks firewall, which will report on all applications people are using, as well as the security, as well as hosting characteristics of that specific application. We'll also give you information about how many people are using these applications, which group these users are, how much data is transferred into these applications, and more importantly, what activities are performed inside these applications. Are people uploading data, sharing data? All that information you can get this from this report. Now, when you say, hey, I want my users to use my corporate Office 365, what you really mean is that you want them to use that single corporate instance of Office 365 you bought them. You, of course, don't want them to spin up their own Office 365 instance and upload data. You don't want them to use their personal version of Office 365, or even spin up a trial and upload data as well as exfiltrate data. So to do this, what you need to identify is the exact instance of Office 365 that your users are using. Again, this is not very hard. You can actually get this from your on-prem firewall, as well as your proxy devices will give you information on what instance of Office 365 is being used. Microsoft Office 365 also has a feature which is built into Office, which is called header insertion. So for example, if your company name was Acme, now you can insert a header into all the traffic hitting Office 365, and that header could have the name Acme. Now when traffic reaches Office 365, they will look at that header value called Acme, and then they will check, are you accessing Acme instance of Office 365? If you're accessing a different instance of Office 365, Office will actually block your end users from accessing Office and put a message saying, hey, you're not accessing your corporate instance of Office 365. So again, the devices that you have, like your proxies and firewalls, can insert that particular header and make sure that your end users are only accessing the corporate instance of Office 365. Now, when people are using Office 365, eventually that data gets onto the end devices, their laptops. You want to make sure that that data resides inside your corporate sanctioned laptops. Now, if somebody is accessing Office 365 from their mom's laptop and then downloads all the data, then all that data is sitting on their mom's laptop. That's something you do not want. On the other hand, you actually don't want to prevent them from accessing Office 365 when they're on their mom's laptop because maybe they're traveling, they're at an airport kiosk, they still want to access email. So how do you have the best of both worlds where you want them to give access to their corporate Office 365, but based on the device, you want to actually make sure what level of access they do have. So we have a solution at Palo Alto Networks where you can configure Palo Alto Networks as your identity provider within Office 365. So when someone from their mom's laptop goes all the way to Office 365, that traffic is redirected to Palo Alto Networks. When that traffic is redirected to Palo Alto Networks, we will authenticate against your true IDP. So if you have AD, ADFS, Okta, Ping, any of your identity providers, we will authenticate to make sure does that user have access to Office 365. Once we do that authentication, now we redirect that traffic. We send a browser redirect that traffic through your corporate firewalls so that you can have the same security posture. Also, on the corporate firewall, you can take a policy saying that if someone is coming from an unmanaged device, then please give them access to Office 365. They can read the email, but they cannot download attachments. They can view files, they can preview files in SharePoint and OneDrive, but they cannot download all those files. But if someone is accessing from the corporate premise, then yes, give them full access to it. So you can make these distinctions even if that traffic is not originating from within your corporate premises. The next piece is exposure of sensitive data. Now, data is the core of your intellectual property. You want to make sure that the right people have access to the right amount of data. So the first thing that you need to identify is that where is all my sensitive data sitting? And you need to identify this across all your corporate applications, across all your applications in Office 365, including email, including file sharing, including Teams. Everywhere that data is sitting, you want to identify what that sensitive data is. Once you identify sensitive data, you want to identify who has access to that data. So do people within internal users have access to that data? Is that a corporate-wide link where anybody inside your corporation can access that data? Or is that a public link where anybody in the world without any authentication can access that data? Or is that shared to specific people in different domains? So you want to identify that data. Who has access to that data? Now, there is a problem that your typical traditional devices, like a firewall or proxy, are not very good at solving this problem. And if you think about it, think about this. You upload some data today. 20 days later, you go and share that data. If you share that data 20 days later, there is no inline device in this world which can maintain state to figure out who has access to that data. So you need a new solution here to identify what data is residing inside these applications and who has access to that data. So one of the best ways to do that is to use the APIs provided by Microsoft, the Graph APIs, and then go and scan all your content within Office 365 inside all the services, and then using those very same APIs, identify the exposure of that data. Is that internally exposed? Is that externally exposed? Is it publicly exposed? And then once you've figured out that exposure, then you can then remediate it. So if a file was publicly exposed and had 10 credit card numbers, then you can actually create a workflow and automatically remove that public exposure. Now, why are all these things important? Because this is one of the top problems in Office 365 where your data is accessed by people who should not have access to it. And to make things worse, 99% of the time, the intent is not malicious. The intent is absolutely not malicious. The problem is that it is human error and stupidity which creates most of this problem. When somebody wants to go and share a file, they go click on a link and say share to anybody with that link. What they do not understand is that that link is publicly accessible and could be even indexed by Google. I know of a very, very large security company, not Palo Alto Networks, okay? And the entire Q4 financial results were exposed on a file sharing application with a public link. And there was no malicious intent here. Somebody created a folder, called it Q4 financial results, shared it with a public link, but before they could announce the results, that entire data was publicly out there. Now, another example, think of this. This data is not only pertained to SaaS. It is for your entire enterprise. Most of you might have heard of Bitcoin mining. It's one of the menaces which has hurt us, where people spin up machines in Azure, AWS, and they go and mine Bitcoins. But if you realize the starting point of that attack actually is not Azure or AWS. The starting point of that particular attack is actually a SaaS application. And how does this attack happen? People actually steal the keys for Azure or AWS, and they spin up machines. That's the premise of the attack. But where do they get these keys from? Typically, developers come from college. They have a free GitHub account in college, and that free GitHub account gives them access to how much ever data they want to store. The only premise of that GitHub account is that all the code that they have should be publicly accessible. So then that's fine. You're in college, you have a free account, the code is public. Now that developer comes and joins your organization or your enterprise. He has access to your code base. He syncs your code base. Now your enterprise's code base has actually become public. And there's been bad coding practices where people have embedded keys or hard-coded keys actually inside the code. And once they've hard-coded these keys, they are public crawlers which crawl GitHub and then get access to these keys and then go and spin up these machines. So at the end of the day, this is data which is not properly shared or secured inside your SaaS applications, which leads to large attacks not only on SaaS applications, but also public cloud or even on-prem applications. The next piece that you need to worry about is malware propagation. You want to make sure that when you give access to SaaS applications to multiple people, even people who are not in your organization, you might have some public folders to share data legitimately, but you don't want people to upload malware onto it. Okay, and the malware typically does not attack the cloud itself. Why does malware, cloud play a part in malware? Most attackers know that the cloud is a great catalyst for the propagation of malware. Because if you upload one malware onto the cloud, then thousands of employees have access to that malware, and that malware will get downloaded into their various desktops or endpoints. So you want to make sure that, hey, when that malware is in the cloud, then you want to capture that malware and quarantine it. Again, the API is a very, very good tool where the API can scan all the files sitting in Office 365. Once it finds a file, then within Palo Alto Networks, we can analyze that using a tool called Wildfire, which does both static as well as dynamic analysis, and also does bare metal analysis to identify if it's a malware. And then we can quarantine that malware and then make sure that your cloud is secure. Not only is your cloud secure, but also your endpoints are secure because people cannot download data from the cloud. The next thing comes with various security controls are available within your cloud. So you want to make sure, hey, your Exchange administrator is not reading your CEO's email. With great power comes great privilege, but he should not abuse that privilege. You want to make sure that there's a separation of duties and your administrators are doing the right work. So you can very easily monitor these activities. Microsoft provides an API which provides all the activities that all the users within Office 365 do. So you can have simple rules to monitor activities done by your administrators. You can also look at activities to make sure that an employee departing your company is not downloading all his data from Office 365 and walking away. So you do want to monitor these activities. You also want to make sure that the various tools given by your employees are used well. So for example, at Palo Alto Networks, I need to install an MDM on my phone to get access to my Exchange email on my phone. And there's a good reason for it. They want to make sure, hey, my end device is secure. They want to know what I'm doing. But as end users, we have the feeling that, hey, somebody is looking over my shoulder. I don't want this MDM, but I still want to get email. And there are a lot of people in a lot of enterprises who think they can outsmart the system, who can outsmart security. And this has happened at multiple enterprises I've seen. Also happened actually within Palo Alto Networks, where end users were actually forwarding their entire Exchange email to their Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo Mail. That way they get all of the email, but they don't need to install an MDM. and with all the email walks away all your sensitive data. So you want to make sure somebody does not have an email forwarding rule which forwards it to their Gmail. So again, using APIs is a very good task. Using Exchange APIs, we can detect if end users have email forwarding rules. Who are they forwarding the email to? Are they archiving data beyond what your corporation has given? So these are tools that we can monitor. And you also want to operationalize this. You want to make sure that this is very, very easy to do. An alert comes, and then they can go and fix it. So what are the takeaways from this for securing Office 365? So to secure Office 365, you cannot focus on just Office 365. You want to make sure people are not using other applications or also using other applications securely. You want to make sure that they can prevent malware. You also need to have a good idea of all the data sitting inside Office 365. And you want to make sure that the right people have the right access to the data sitting Office 365. You want to prevent the misuse of any of the controls that people have within their applications. And then security is not a one-time task. You need to have this every single day. This monitoring needs to happen continuously. You need to have workflows around automation for this. And more importantly, please use a tool which can automate this, because if you're not using a tool, then you're going to have an army of people going through each of these alerts and manually verifying this. So you want to make this automated, simple, and you can very easily secure your Office 365. That's about it. Thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions here.